The power grid is not a fixed object. It only looks that way from a distance. This delicate balance affects everything. It dictates the rhythm of global finance. The flow of clean water to our cities depends on it, and the digital infrastructure that underpins our entire information economy. The evolution of this system has been gradual, taking place over more than a century. But the next transformation will not unfold over decades. It is a software update away, compressing a century of operational learning into digital decision-making that acts in microseconds. The first changes will be subtle, noticed only by engineers staring at diagnostic screens. The subsequent impacts will become more apparent, rippling through the economy and our daily routines. And by the end, the world will still function, the lights will still be on, but the underlying logic that governs our access to energy will have been rewritten. Today's grid is a hybrid, a collaboration between automated systems and human experts. Sophisticated software, known as SCADA systems, monitors the network and can perform routine actions automatically. Yet, for every critical decision, a human operator has the final say. Full autonomy proposes to sever this link. It imagines a grid that thinks for itself. A modern power grid is a tripartite system: generation, transmission, and distribution. The amount of power generated must precisely match the total amount consumed. This is the fundamental law of the grid. At the heart of this complex balancing act lies the human-machine partnership. They are the guardians of the grid, augmented by a powerful suite of digital tools, chief among them being SCADA. The SCADA system allows operators to see the flow of electricity and to remotely control distant equipment. The final decision, especially during an unexpected event, rests with the human. They are the final backstop that interprets ambiguous data. The existing layer of automation, its primary function is to manage predictability. However, the grid is not always predictable. The true test comes from what engineers call contingency events. An operator can do something an algorithm struggles with: integrate external, non-electrical information. A bank of clouds suddenly passing over a large solar farm can cause a massive drop in generation in seconds. The current automation is reactive. The human expert provides the crucial element of proactive, context-aware foresight. The first and most significant is human reaction time. A cascading failure can unfold in milliseconds. A second vulnerability is the sheer cognitive load. Operators risk becoming bogged down in a sea of information. Furthermore, the system relies on a shrinking pool of specialized human expertise. As this generation of experts retires, there is a real risk of losing a critical layer of institutional knowledge. This combination of factors creates the powerful argument for full autonomy. The moment the grid transitions to full autonomy, the most immediate and profound change is the speed of decision-making. This hyper-responsiveness begins to redefine the very concept of reliability for the end user. The need for expensive on-site backup power systems diminishes as the grid itself effectively becomes its own perfect backup. However, this incredible speed comes with a hidden cost: the complete loss of deliberative process. The autonomous system does not doubt. It simply acts. With the human operator removed, a new category of failure emerges. A misplaced decimal point in a load-balancing algorithm could lie dormant for months. The AI's perception is only as good as its data. It would immediately execute a contingency plan to protect against a non-existent threat. The most insidious failure is algorithmic drift. The AI develops digital superstitions, embedding flawed logic in its model. As the autonomous grid operates with near-perfect reliability, a sense of profound complacency begins to set in among the remaining human staff. Like a pilot who only ever flies on autopilot, a grid supervisor who never has to take the controls loses their intuitive feel for the system. The grid effectively becomes a black box. When a failure eventually occurs, they would also be attempting to fix a machine whose fundamental operating principles are a mystery to them. The autonomous grid introduces a new topography of failure: flickering grids, pulsing blackouts, For industrial processes and digital systems, these rapid repeated power cycles are far more damaging than a single sustained outage. The risk profile has changed from frequent, small, understandable problems to extremely rare, massive, and incomprehensible ones. The system-wide impact first manifests in its relationship with the natural world. This optimization causes a rapid decline in carbon emissions. The autonomous grid transforms the buying and selling of electricity into a fully automated high-frequency market. The AI's optimization is blind to social context. The grid could systematically disenfranchise the poorest, creating algorithmic redlining. This creates a tightly coupled system of systems, where the grid is the single foundational pillar. The autonomous system begins to operate this aging equipment at the absolute edge of its original design specifications. Cybersecurity becomes the paramount concern for national security. The defense of the grid shifts from protecting physical substations to protecting the integrity of the AI's mind. The world that emerges is one of unprecedented efficiency and stability. But that stability is built on a foundation of hidden fragility and relinquished control. The imperative: build not just a smarter grid, but a wiser one. Embed human values into its architecture. The grid that drives itself must be guided by a human hand, not on the controls, but on the compass that sets its direction. What scenario should we explore next? Share your ideas below. You've been watching IfVerse, where imagination meets possibility. See you in our next reality.